Hello Golden State Warriors fans, we are here once again to bring you the latest news related to our team, and I would like to emphasize how committed we are to improving our performance to achieve great results. Before we dive into this intriguing news, I kindly request you to show your support by clicking the like button, and if you are not yet subscribed to our channel, I invite you all to join us on an exciting journey. Remember to turn on notifications so you don't miss anything.
ESPN analyst says Jimmy Butler's fit with Warriors is better than his Miami Heat runs. Jimmy Butler might have finally found the perfect place to elevate his game, and possibly win it all. His arrival at the Golden State Warriors, alongside Stephen Curry and Draymond Green, is already turning heads across the league. In Game 4 against the Houston Rockets, Butler was in full command. He dropped 27 points on 58.3% shooting, didn't commit a single turnover, and helped the Warriors take a commanding 3-1 lead in the series. It wasn't just a big performance, it was a message. And ESPN's Jay Williams is all in. "This is the best fit of Jimmy Butler's entire career," Williams said during an ESPN segment. "He multiplies effort, creates defensive chaos, and plays smarter than ever. He steals more than he fouls." That's not just talk. The numbers back it up. Butler has fully embraced his playoff Jimmy persona since the moment he landed in the Bay Area. He's shooting over 50% from the field in the series, has just one turnover across all games, and only 3 personal fouls through 3 matchups. That kind of discipline is rare, especially in the postseason. From underdog to title contender, Jay Williams emphasized that Butler's impact goes far beyond the stat sheet. He recalled Butler's remarkable playoff runs with Miami, dragging undermanned rosters to the NBA Finals in 2020 and the Eastern Conference Finals in 2023. "Look at those Miami teams," Williams said. Duncan Robinson, Tyler Herro, Kelly Olynyk, Solomon Hill, Goran Dragic, Jimmy led them to the finals. Then you've got Caleb Martin, Max Strus, PJ Tucker, Gabe Vincent, Kyle Lowry. He got them to the conference finals too. Now imagine giving Butler something he never had in Miami, a generational shooter in Steph Curry, a defensive anchor in Draymond Green, and a roster that knows how to win championships. That's what Williams calls dangerous. A championship feel in the air. Even though the Warriors haven't closed out their first-round series just yet, the buzz is back in San Francisco. The chemistry is clicking. The confidence is rising. And the Warriors, who looked shaky earlier this season, suddenly look like contenders again. Butler's arrival didn't just boost the Warriors' roster. It reignited belief. His unique blend of efficient scoring, lockdown defense, and turnover-free basketball has slotted seamlessly into Golden State's veteran core. The trust, the toughness, the timing, it all feels right. Pair a guy like Jimmy with someone like Steph, and a team that already knows how to win. Williams said, "You're not just dreaming about the finals. You're expecting them." If Golden State keeps this momentum, we might be witnessing the start of something special. And Jimmy Butler might have finally found the franchise, and the moment, that defines his legacy. The league is paying attention. Butler's seamless integration into the Warriors isn't just making waves in the Bay Area, it's sending shockwaves throughout the league. Front offices, analysts, and even rival players are taking note. The message is clear: Golden State is no longer the aging dynasty clinging to its past. With Butler in the mix, they've retooled, recharged, and possibly reignited a new championship window. Several league insiders have hinted that other contenders may already be adjusting their strategies in anticipation of a deep Warriors playoff run. One anonymous Western Conference executive reportedly told The Athletic, "That's not the same Golden State team we scouted earlier this season." Butler changed everything: his energy, his discipline, his mindset. He makes them scary again. Even Eastern Conference stars like Jason Tatum and Giannis Antetokounmpo have recently referenced the Warriors' playoff switch in post-game interviews, acknowledging that the West might be running through San Francisco once again. Curry x Butler, a partnership built on trust. One of the most surprising and most promising elements of this new Warriors look is the chemistry between Stephen Curry and Jimmy Butler. On paper, it seemed like an odd match. One is a laid-back, light-hearted marksman, the other, an intense, emotionally charged competitor. But on the floor, it's pure synergy. Butler has embraced his role as the defensive tone-setter and secondary scorer, allowing Curry to work with more freedom off the ball. And Curry, in turn, has leaned into Butler's leadership presence on the court, something that allows Draymond Green to focus even more on anchoring the defense. Head coach Steve Kerr praised the duo's natural connection. Jimmy brings a level of toughness that elevates everyone around him. He and Steph just get it. There's no ego, just winning. Warriors fans reinvigorated. After an up-and-down regular season filled with roster uncertainty and aging concerns, the Butler trade has been a jolt of adrenaline for Dub Nation. The Chase Center is buzzing again. Jerseys with Butler across the back are flying off shelves. Ticket sales surged by nearly 20% after his first 2 games as a Warrior. Social media lit up after Game 4, with clips of Butler's smothering defense and clutch mid-range shots going viral. "This is the Warriors team we missed," one fan tweeted. "And Jimmy might be the missing piece we never knew we needed." What's next? With a 3-1 lead over Houston, the Warriors are in prime position to close out the series at home. If they do, a second-round clash with either the Timberwolves or Lakers looms, and both matchups promise fireworks. And if Butler keeps playing like this, Golden State won't just be a playoff surprise, they'll be a full-blown problem. For Jimmy Butler, it's not just another postseason. It's possibly the best chapter of his career. The perfect system, the perfect teammates, and finally, a real shot at the one thing that's eluded him so far, a championship ring. Playoff Jimmy has merged with Warriors dynasty to haunt the Rockets. Jimmy Butler has breathed new life into the Golden State Warriors, and now the Houston Rockets are next in line to feel the fire. Just a few weeks ago, the Warriors looked like a fading dynasty, left for dead under the weight of a new Western Conference era. Mocked, dismissed, buried by national doubt and postseason pressure. Then something changed. A hand reached up from the grave, and it belonged to Jimmy Butler. That's right. Playoff Jimmy. Straight out of South Beach, still snarling through a pelvic injury, armed with mid-range daggers and unshakable vengeance. And now? He's ours. The newest monster of the Bay has arrived, and he's dragging this Warriors team, clawing, limping, levitating, straight into contention again. Game 4, Warriors 109, Rockets 106. This isn't a comeback story. This is a resurrection. Butler, who by all logic shouldn't even be walking after getting battered in Game 2, dropped 27 points, 23 of them in the second half, 14 in the fourth quarter alone, also known as the time when legends are made and Dillon Brooks turns to dust. He was flawless. 12-4-12 from the field. Every shot a nail in Houston's playoff coffin. Every possession a sermon in heart, grit, and championship DNA. Meanwhile, back in Miami, Butler's former team was being disassembled by the top-seeded Cleveland Cavaliers like a discount shelf in a dollar store. The Heat lost their last 2 playoff games by a combined 92 points. Yes, 92. Jimmy didn't just leave Miami. He escaped. Golden State isn't just a team. It's a sanctuary, a revival project for basketball's most misunderstood geniuses. First it was Kevin Durant. Then Andrew Wiggins. Now, it's Jimmy's turn. He didn't just join the Warriors, he transformed them. Remember that chase-down foul in Game 4? Butler, dragging his aching pelvis like an anchor, hunted down Dillon Brooks and delivered a hit so hard it might have rebooted his entire mindset. Sure, Brooks sank both free throws. But the message? Sent. The mission? Complete. Psychological warfare? Jimmy's a 5-star general. Let's not forget, Brooks has been chirping all season like a busted smoke alarm. But when the lights got hot and Jimmy served him up rare with a side of humiliation, Brooks vanished into the fog of forgotten memes. As Steve Kerr said, if this were the regular season, he'd probably be out a week or 2. But it's the playoffs. And he's Jimmy Butler. That's what he does. Translation? This man runs on vengeance and coffee. In Game 3, Steph Curry dropped 36 points. But in Game 4, he handed the keys over, like one Batman passing the mantle to another from a parallel universe. That's not just chemistry. That's dynasty energy. Now the series shifts back to Houston, and the Rockets, the No. 2 seed, are about to get a front-row seat to a masterclass in playoff suffering. Butler has walked through both sides of the fire, fame and failure, and he's chosen to lean into the flames. The prophecy is clear. The Warriors aren't rebuilding. They've been reborn. And playoff Jimmy is leading the charge. The NBA world wasn't ready for this version of Golden State. They were supposed to be done, a footnote in Western Conference history, while younger, flashier contenders like Houston took center stage. But playoff Jimmy doesn't follow scripts. He shreds them. And the ripples of this shocking twist are spreading fast. Across sports media, talking heads who had buried the Warriors before the All-Star break are now scrambling to rewrite their takes. Is Golden State a legit finals threat again? Can Butler and Curry coexist long-term? Have the Rockets been exposed? The questions are loud, and the fear in Houston is louder. NBA Twitter, as expected, has gone nuclear. Memes of Jimmy in a Warriors jersey, dunking on Rockets fans and dragging tombstones labeled Rockets Dynasty Flood every timeline. One viral post simply reads, "Jimmy Butler didn't join the Warriors. He possessed them." In the locker room, there's a different vibe, one that feels eerily familiar to those who watched this team dominate the league for nearly a decade. Steph Curry, now in the veteran mentor role, was seen post-game with a calm smirk. "This is fun," he told reporters. "We've been through every kind of war. This one just feels different, in a good way." Draymond Green, never one to hold back, added, "Jimmy's a killer. You don't get many like him. He doesn't care about stats, politics, or expectations. He just wants to win, and hurt your feelings doing it." Meanwhile, the Rockets are reeling. Jalen Green has looked overwhelmed. Alperen Sengun, brilliant in the regular season, has struggled to adjust to the brutal intensity of postseason basketball. And Dylan Brooks, the self-appointed villain of the NBA, is learning a harsh truth: you can't outtalk someone who thrives on silence and violence. Houston coach Ime Udoka tried to rally his team post-game, calling the loss a wake-up call, and urging his young core to respond like grown men. But even he couldn't deny the shift. Jimmy changes the temperature of a series. He forces you to play his game. And if you're not ready for that, he'll burn you. Now all eyes turn to Game 5. The pressure is squarely on the Rockets, who risk falling apart completely if they don't reclaim momentum. But it's not just a must-win game. It's a reckoning. Because when Jimmy Butler smells blood, he doesn't back off. He presses harder. He feeds on the tension, the noise, the silence between whistles. He is not just playing for wins, he's playing for legacy. For a shot at rewriting his story in Warriors gold. Golden State, once doubted, now feels inevitable again. And somehow Jimmy Butler, the outcast, the underdog, the misunderstood alpha, is right at the center of it. Not a passenger. Not a sidekick. The architect. The storm. The soul of a new era. So here we are. The dynasty isn't dead. It's been reborn, with Jimmy Butler lighting the torch. And Houston? They're not just facing a Game 5. They're facing Judgment Day. Stephen Curry reflects on the extremely difficult task ahead, but draws strength from 2013 playoff lessons. The Golden State Warriors are now just one win away from punching their ticket to the Western Conference semifinals, holding a 3-1 series lead over the Houston Rockets after a gritty 109-106 Game 4 victory. As the series heads back to Houston for a pivotal Game 5, Stephen Curry, the heart and soul of the Warriors dynasty, is leaning into something far more powerful than just a shooting stroke: experience. Curry knows better than anyone that closing out a playoff series isn't just about talent. It's about composure, resilience, and understanding the moment. And for him, those lessons started early. "I still remember one of my first closeout experiences back in 2013 against Denver," Curry said, reflecting. "We were up by 10 with just a few minutes left, but we turned the ball over so many times. It felt like the longest 2 or 3 minutes of my life." It was a chaotic ending, one that nearly cost them the series, but one Curry hasn't forgotten. Going through that, and so many more moments like it over the last decade, taught me how much discipline and focus it takes. You never really forget those lessons. That 2013 series mirrors today's in more ways than one. Back then, Golden State also held a 3-1 lead but failed to close it out in Game 5, eventually needing a Game 6 on the road to finish the job. This time around, Curry is determined not to let history repeat itself, though he's under no illusion that Game 5 in Houston will be easy. "We know the value of ending a series early. The more rest you get, the better," he said. "But closeout games are always the hardest. The other team's desperate, they've got their home crowd, and they're going to throw everything they have at you." He added, "You don't have to be perfect, but you do have to be locked in." And that's where Curry thrives. In the chaos. In the tension. In the moments that separate the good from the great. With Jimmy Butler now bringing firepower on the wing and Draymond Green anchoring the defense, the Warriors suddenly look less like an aging dynasty and more like a championship threat that never left. As Curry put it, the mindset going into Game 5 is simple but powerful. It's a long game. Stay resilient. Stay relentless. And above all, stay disciplined. That's the challenge. Finishing the Rockets off now wouldn't just be a strategic win. It would be a statement, a loud, clear signal to the rest of the league that the Warriors aren't done. They're regrouped. They're recharged. And they're chasing rings. Efficiently closing out this series means more than just advancing. It means extra days to rest battered bodies, to sharpen game plans, and to prepare for the brutal path ahead in the Western Conference gauntlet. For Curry, this moment isn't just about basketball. It's about legacy leadership, and proving that even after more than a decade of postseason battles, he still has the clarity, and the fire, to lead when it matters most. And make no mistake, the league is watching. Across the NBA, teams that once viewed the Warriors as yesterday's news are now taking a second look. The rise of Jimmy Butler in a Golden State jersey, coupled with Curry's steady command and a reinvigorated supporting cast, has flipped the postseason narrative on its head. What was supposed to be a transitional year for Golden State has suddenly become a revival tour, and Curry is conducting the orchestra with quiet fury. Analysts are starting to shift their tone. What once sounded like farewell tours now echo with playoff warnings. ESPN's Jalen Rose called the Warriors the most dangerous lower seed in the bracket. TNT's Candace Parker added, "If this is what a declining Steph Curry looks like, then the West is in serious trouble." And it's not just the talking heads. Players around the league are noticing, too. Multiple stars, including LeBron James and Damian Lillard, have taken to social media to praise Curry's poise and Jimmy Butler's resurgence, noting how rare it is to see a team rebuild its identity without ever bottoming out. Meanwhile, in the Warriors' locker room, there's no celebration. No premature satisfaction. Just focus, the kind of laser-sharp focus that comes from years of learning what it takes to survive and thrive in the postseason trenches. Draymond Green, never short on confidence, was quick to shut down any notion that Golden State is overachieving. "We've been here before. We know what it takes. It's not about surprising anyone else, it's about reminding ourselves who we are." And that reminder is starting to echo louder with each game. Klay Thompson, while not the scorer he once was, has become a defensive anchor and late-game specialist. Jonathan Kuminga is finally showing flashes of maturity and control. Even role players like Kevin Looney and Gary Payton too are stepping up, proving that this roster still has the kind of gritty depth that makes champions. Now, with the Rockets backed into a corner, the Warriors have a golden opportunity to reassert themselves as more than just a nostalgic threat. If they close out Houston in Game 5, they don't just eliminate a dangerous young team, they send a message to the rest of the West: the dynasty isn't finished. It's evolving. For Stephen Curry, this moment carries echoes of all the battles he's fought before. The ankle surgeries, the blown leads, the championship highs, the finals heartbreaks, all of it has led to this stage. A chance to rewrite the final chapters of his career not as an aging star chasing relevance, but as a timeless leader steering a reborn contender toward one more historic run. As he heads into Game 5, Curry knows what's on the line. And he knows how quickly things can turn if focus slips. He's lived it. But with Jimmy Butler beside him, playing with fire and pain like a man on a mission, and a team rallying around its core, the Warriors don't look like they're hanging on. They look like they're hunting.